Okay, so this is an overview of the Hearium app. I'm going to open it now. So as you can see, it's connected to the earphone hardware device. Now I'm going to go through the functions of the buttons. This icon here displays a 5-state value of the hardware battery charge level. The icon is updated automatically when the app loads and can be further refreshed by pressing it. This icon here, tapping on the button, enables or disables the directional enhancement system of the earphone system via a Bluetooth low energy command. This button here is the adapt button that sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to retrain the target location for the directional enhancement system. Now this auto switch here sends a BTLE command to automatically adjust the level of ambient sound passed through to the earphone. When the auto mix switch is off, we can manually adjust the level of ambient sound passed through to the earphone with this slider. This slider sends a BTLE command to adjust the ambient sound gain. Now the tap control here sends a BTLE command to enable or disable the tap system. When enabled, this system detects a manual user finger tap on the earphone, which then mutes music playback and passes through ambient sound. The horn detect switch sends a BTLE command to enable or disable the horn detection algorithm system running on the earphone hardware. When it's enabled, the horn detection algorithm automatically detects car horns with the earphone microphones, and when detected, it mutes music playback and passes through ambient sound. Now this switch here, this super ear switch, sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to boost ambient sound pass through by 10 decibels. And this here talk to hear switch sends a BTLE command to enable or disable an algorithm system running on the earphone hardware. When enabled, the talk to hear algorithm automatically detects when the earphone user is talking, and when detected, it mutes music playback and passes through ambient sound. Now we are on the second screen, the recording screen. So looking at this menu here, we see the audio recording select menu here. This sends a BTLE message to the earphone hardware to configure which audio channels are recorded with the SD card on the earphone hardware. This button here, this is the start or stop playback button, which sends a BTLE command from the iOS app to control playback of audio from the SD card to the earphones. Now here, this replay slider sends a BTLE command to set the replay head location, i.e. where we start reproduction of SD card audio relative to the last audio recorded position. The default location is T-15 seconds. This button here, the SD card reset button, sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to reset the record location on the SD card to the beginning of the file. Now we will go to the next screen. This is the hearing safety screen. Now the refresh button at the top here sends a BTLE command to the earphones hardware to display dosimetry system parameters such as the ear canal SPL level, the current dosage level, and the estimated safe listening time remaining. This switch here, this is the active sound reproduction system switch, sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to enable or disable this algorithm. When enabled, this system attenuates loud audio transients to minimize the sound dose. So now onto the phone settings screen. This mic select menu sends a BTLE command to select the microphone pickup used for the outgoing signal in a phone call from the earphone hardware. This Vox switch sends a BTLE command to enable or disable the voice activated switch in the outgoing signal from the earphone during a phone call. This high pass switch here sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to enable a high pass filter on the signal sent to the earphone loudspeaker. Now the mono switch here sends a BTLE command to the earphone and should be enabled when we're only using one earphone in a phone call. And now onto the final settings screen. So this switch here is the bass boost switch, which sends a BTLE command to add plus 12 decibels of bass boost at 96 Hz to the earphone loudspeaker. This is the wired mode switch, which sends a BTLE command to allow the earphone to be used with a wired audio input signal. The keyword detect switch sends a BTLE command to enable the keyword detection algorithm on the earphone. Now the voice strength menu here, this sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware for selecting the strength or loudness of the earphone user's voice. Now this menu here, the listening experience menu, this sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware for selecting the equalization filter that's applied to the earphone loudspeaker. Now this seal test button here, when I press this, it sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware for it. So the seal test button sends a BTLE command to the earphone hardware to start a seal test in the earphone, and this returns a goodness of fit value for the left and right earphones, which is displayed in the box. You can see it's displayed 2 zeros here, which is a poor seal. This DFU button here at the top, when you press that, it enters the system that it sends a BTLE command to enter the earphone hardware system into a device firmware update mode, which can update the firmware of the earphone hardware. Pressing this firmware version button sends a BTLE command to the hardware and it displays the firmware version. As you can see, it displayed the number 24, and that number disappears after a number of seconds. The demo switch sends a BTLE command to enter the earphone into a demo mode. And finally we have the microphone level switch at the bottom here. I press this and it will send a BTLE command to the earphone hardware, which will just then return to the iOS app the level of the different microphone signals in the earphone. You can see it return mostly zeros here and a level number 4 there. If I press it again, it might display a different value. It returned all zeros. And that's the end of the app demonstration.